comparison between the joy of driving it for real and then the imagination of spraying it.
Well, driving this car, from a personal perspective, it makes me feel like the most special man on earth. You know, having collected the toys as a boy, it was only a dream, and I've had the privilege exhibition tour promoting the sale, which happens shortly.
If you could just tell me, for being a child, how much you desired the replica, and how much fun it's been then owning the replica as a child to be driving this car.
Sure, as a child, it was very easy to obtain the replica Corgi toy, and of course I had one. The extravagance in my own childhood was actually the From Russia with Love briefcase, which also fired bullets, had daggers, and lots of secret compartments, and is very rare today. Very much rarer than the Corgi. Continue to do so today.
So did you actually own the Aston Martin prototype?
Of course I did.
You did. Could you tell us a story about receiving it, and how it made you feel, and what age you were?
Well, I was 10 years old when I was first introduced to the film Goldfinger, so it was very shortly. The first thing everybody did was lose the man who got shot out in the ejector seat, so he was gone. But the other gadgets, you know, seemed to hold on for a time, and then eventually the car ended up on the shelf. I still own it. Not anxious to give it up anytime soon.
That's great. I just want a final question. Why would it make a list of 100 great toys?
Well, because it's the toy version of the most famous car in the world, and it does all the stuff that the car did in the film Goldfinger.
Don, can I just get that answer again, but could you just incorporate, you say to me, the reason I think it's a great toy is because it replicates.
And you can take the shoulder a little bit towards me. Yeah, perfect. So just, how you doing, Don?
Yeah, 7 years ago, our fathers did something, and
Made an Aston Martin. Okay, that's great. You can just look at me. We're just going to take a clip of this, so it's
Sure.
not, you don't have to worry.
yeah.
So, Don, first of all, tell me, what is the attraction, the allure of this specific car?
Well, sure. I think the correlation of this car with the character of James Bond was absolute perfection in cinema. The character was sophisticated, powerful, elegant, and somewhat deadly, and so is the car. In 1964-65, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No, I'm going to shut it off. I apologize.
Perfect ringtone. I guess that's kind of standard, isn't it?
Had it for years, actually. Okay.
So you were saying just the allure of the car is that there's that elegance there. There's the iconic.
I'll start over.
Yeah.
The James Bond character personified the values of sophistication, elegance, performance, and a deadly quality. And so there was no more perfect match in the history of cinema between an actor and an object, in my view, than Sean Connery as James Bond with the Aston Martin DB5. Also a powerful vehicle, elegant, sophisticated, and in the film and today equipped with deadly weapons.
Machine guns, they don't really work, do they?
I haven't tested the machine guns.
But as far as you know, they don't.
The majority of the gadgets are absolutely functional, but well, the interest has been extraordinary because after all, it is the most famous car in the world, and it's coming to public sale for the first time ever. from its longtime original owner since 1969, confidently that the car should bring in excess of $5 million US, roughly 3.5 sterling.
And what are you expecting in terms of interest in the world? I mean,
Are on a worldwide exhibition tour. So many people have already had the opportunity to see the car and experience it up close. So we're really at the culmination point now of 6 months of good old hard work. The interest is tremendous. The big buyers at auction like to keep their cards close. So it's always exciting to see what will actually occur on the day.
And that's great, Don. I'm just going to have you go up here. I'm just going to ask you a couple questions, just so you can show me a couple of things, but we'll just do a wide shot.
Called it the small mobile intelligent unit.
Exactly. That's
And just hold it back up. Jerry, I'll bet you have an oscilloscope somewhere from your past.
You're right.
Haven't seen one in a long time.
You guys are keyed up to do like a
Ancient
over here, and this sort of end right here.
Well, do you want to start at the front?
It's just that the camera's locked off because I'm by myself, so it's only one shot that I have. So
we don't want to move.
we will move, but we'll just move like this, right to the front. You can just sort of talk like that. So we'll sort of start right here.
Start with that.
Yeah, exactly. You stand next to the car.
Like this?
Yes, great. We're running a speed. It's
Are we?
yours. It's a
Okay.
beautiful thing.
Great. So, can you please tell us a bit about the James Bond pieces you have here
Well,
today?
let's start with the most important one, which is the Bond car, which you see there to my right. The Aston Martin DB5 that was used in the James Bond film, driven by Sean Connery, with all the gadgets that a lot of them still work. I mean, this is the unique piece. This is the only one in the world. So really, that takes all the limelight. That's the piece to watch.
And the helicopter?
Of course, yes. There's the helicopter, which was flown by Pussy Galore in the film as well, and then we've got two little small pieces, which is the small gear knob with the button for the with the ejector seat, and one of the revolving number plates, a spare revolving number plate, which are two little pieces of memorabilia that go with the Bond car.
I see. And what makes this car special among all the Bond cars?
This car is probably the most famous of all the Bond cars, and it's certainly one of the most famous cars in the world. It's the one that was featured in the film, the one that you see driving in the scenes, and it's really the car that everyone associates with James Bond now. It's become really famous. That's the one that everyone always dreams about.
And why is it being sold now?
Jerry Lee, who's selling it, has decided to sell it. He's had it for forever and ever. He bought it from Aston Martin back in the late 60s, and he's going to sell it now to raise some money for his charity, which is a real great thing, and we're really pleased and honoured to be involved in it, to be able to help and sell the car to raise some money for the charity.
What does it deal with? The
It's
charity?
a very good. It's just called the Jerry Lee Foundation,
Jerry Lee Foundation, yes.
which deals with children that are subject to violence.
It's mostly research into crime prevention.
I see. So this car, it's DB5?
It's an Aston Martin DB5. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
What premium does it get as compared to other DB5s?
I mean,
are similar
it's
just because it was
it's
in the film.
absolutely. I mean, this DB5 is not just any DB5. It's the one that was in the film. It's the Bond car. So to give you an idea, a normal DB5 today, if there is a normal one, but a DB5 will be worth about £200,000, and we're expecting this car to make over £3.5 million. So that gives you an idea of the difference in value. I mean, more than 10 times, 20 times the value of a normal Aston Martin DB5.
And is it why sell now? Is it a good market for selling?
Jerry Lee's decided to sell it now more because he's ready to raise some money for his charity. It's not so much that it's a good market or a bad time. Of course, the classic car market have been doing very well. We've seen some great results over the past 12 months. But from him, I think that it's more of a question of now's the time to raise some money for my charity, so now's the time to put it up for sale. With a car like this, it's pretty much proof to any market forces. You know, it's a once in a lifetime, so it's not that you're going to get a chance to buy it again. So if you want it, now's the time to come and buy it.
I see. And can you tell us briefly what are the gadgets that are?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a number of gadgets that still works. Of course, the most famous one of them all is the revolving number plate. But there's also the bullet screen that comes up in the back, the ejector seat, but that doesn't work. But there is the button there underneath the gear knob, so you can press the button. There's the radar to track the baddies. Little machine guns that come out the front. Of course, they don't fire any bullets. The oil spreader to spread oil in the back, smoke as well in the back. I mean, the gadgets go on and on. It's fantastic, and to have them all there still is the best bit of all. Moments of inspiration.
The pushers, what are they for? The front?
Oh, the overriders. That's the what do you call them? What do you call them? Bumpers.
Bumper rams.
The bumper rams. Bumper rams. What you see there on the front that are coming out are the bumper rams that come out to push the car in front, and on the side of the car, which is currently out as well, is the tire shredder, which James Bond used as he was overtaking the baddies in the film to shred the tires to slow them down.
And everything is in workable condition.
Everything's workable because, as I said, not everything works. There's no bullets that come out of the machine guns, and the seat doesn't eject out, but most everything works. You see, no special effects in the 60s. It was all done on the car, which is one of the great things.
What about the helicopter? How come it came into this collection at this point?
You know, when the owner of the helicopter heard that we had the Aston Martin DB5 Bond car, he thought, no better chance than to offer my helicopter as well. It's a part of James Bond memorabilia. It's a part of James Bond history as well. So hence the attraction to have the helicopter here.
Tell us a bit about the route it's taken to get here in terms of, and also when the auction is finished.
Absolutely. The car has been shipped all around the world. It started obviously at Jerry Lee's house in America. We sent it here to the UK, where it did some presentation and show work. Then it was flown to New York, where again it was on display in downtown New York. Then from New York off to Hong Kong, where it's been there on display for 2 weeks, sort of breaking into the Middle East, the Asian market. And then from there, back here to London, where it's again been on display at the RAC Club. It's been great to have it there. People have really admired it. And from RAC here at Battersea, where it's going to be sold tomorrow at auction on the 27th of October. So it's going to be an exciting day tomorrow, that's for sure.
No, it's a well-traveled car.
Absolutely, it's been all over the world.
Fans think about it. Bond fans, have they turned up to look at it?
Oh, yeah. Have you had a lot of Bond fans turning up, or it's just...
We've had real interest from all sorts of people and all over the world. I mean, people that love cars are interested. People that love James Bond have been interested. People that just even love the story. I mean, the interest has really been very broad. Normally here, it's a classic car auction where we get interest for car buyers. But here, it's worldwide, and even people that aren't Bond fans. I mean, it's a part of history. Everyone knows this car. It's the most famous car in the world. So even if you don't like James Bond and you don't like cars, chances are you'll know this car. So really, interest has come from all over the place.
I see. Was it tough getting security for the car?
No, it's okay. You know, it's such a unique piece. I mean, we've been very careful, of course. We've got more security, and security has been following it everywhere. But such a unique piece that, well, we hope no one's going to steal it. Anyway, it's pretty safe here for the moment.
Thank you very much.
So
Yep.
just probably have put your name and spell it.
Yep.
You'd like to record on tape just so
Yeah,
we have it.
it's Max Girardo. It's Girardo, and it's RM Auctions, and I'm the MD for the European operation.
And you'd like to be known as the MD
Yeah.
for European.
And I'll even give you cards so you can spell all the name right and everything. You've got everything you
Very
need.
much.
It's just in case someone else edits
Yeah.
it.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, lovely.
Got that?
Thank you. Camera's rolling. Can I get a voice level, please, sir?
Hello, hello, hello.
What have you had for breakfast today?
Let me take a granola.
Help a step
Granola.
closer. That's lovely, lovely.
That is very frugal.
Yeah, I try to stay healthy. I'm 74. I want to be around for another 25 years, so I think I gotta watch my diet.
Good thinking. Okay, rolling. So, from what I understand, you've been the only owner of this car,
Yes.
Aston Martin.
Yes.
How did you manage to buy the car from the company?
Well, I have tremendous luck. In 1966, I attended a recording session of the London Philharmonic Orchestra doing the early James Bond things with Stanley Black. In those days, they had 20-foot high playback speakers. And to hear that pumping sound of Bond went into my veins. And at that point, I became a James Bond enthusiast. Up to that, I wasn't interested in Bond. Fast forward to 1969, front page of the Philadelphia Inquirer, our morning newspaper. James Bond car for sale owned by a restaurateur in London by the name of Luskin White. Called my assistant at his home and said, "Find Luskin White, I want to buy that car." My assistant's putting calls all over London, cannot find this Luskin White. And Wednesday morning at 8 a.m., I'm in my office and I'm distraught. The car has been sold by now. And I have this incredible collection of car books in my office. I just started mindlessly going through the books and stumbled across the phone number and name of the managing director of Aston Martin in Newport Pagnell, England. Called him, took 15 minutes to get through in those days. Got him on the phone and I said, "You got to be very positive in these situations." I said, "You built the car. Luskin White now owns it. I'm sure you know how to locate him." And the managing director of Aston Martin says, "Yes, we have his phone number." I says, "Great." And then he says to me, "But you don't want to talk to this guy." And I says, "What do you mean I don't want to talk to this guy? I want to buy the car." He said he owns the car that was made after the movie. The original car we have never sold. We have it right here at the factory. I says, "Great, I'll buy it from you." He says, "The car's not for sale." But here's where my luck comes in. I'm an incredibly lucky person. He said, "Where'd you say you're calling from?" I said, "Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA." He said, "Are you aware that our factory-owned distributorship for the United States is in a suburb of Philadelphia, King of Prussia?" I said, "No." "Who runs it?" He said, "Rex Woodgate." 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm waiting while he opens up his distributorship, introduces myself, said, "I own a radio station. Wouldn't it be great for Aston Martin sales in America to have the Bond car here?" He says, "Jolly good idea, jolly good idea." I said, "Pick up the phone and call your managing director and persuade him to sell me the car." Now, I'm not about to tell him I just got off the phone with his managing director, but that would discourage him from going ahead. And he took 15 minutes to get a call through, so I'll wait until he's made a commitment. He's on the phone waiting. So he's on the phone for about 5 minutes. I said, "Oh, by the way, I just talked to your managing director an hour ago. He turned me down, but I'm sure you can persuade him to sell me the car." They commits on the phone for about 20 minutes, puts his hand on the receiver, says, "Make an offer," made an offer. And they accepted it on the spot. And I said, "Tell them to make a hotel reservation for Friday night. I'll pick up the car on Saturday." I just instinct that I better move fast. I get to the factory Saturday morning. Here, the most famous car in the world looks like a piece of junk. It's covered in dirt. There's a spare tire in the back seat. It looks horrible. I pulled a handkerchief out and started to wipe off the dirt. Paint looked all right, so I walked out to the managing director, pulled out my cashier's check, handed it to him. I said, "Now that I own the car, why were you trying to dissuade me from buying it?" And we went eyeball to eyeball, I swear to goodness, for at least 2 minutes. And he finally said, "The word has gotten out that we're selling the car. We have gotten 4 offers for the car, and the lowest offer was in excess of 3 times what we agreed to sell you the car for." But his English gentleman, they honored the deal. They shined the car up, sent it with the driver into London, and we did all kind of publicity all over London.
So did it take a lot of did it take a lot of time to re? Sorry, I'm. What is it in English?
Refurbish?
Refurbish it, yeah.
No,
Because you
actually,
said it looked like
No,
rubbish.
look, it was just all fake. It was just dirt.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think they put dirt on themselves. It just been sitting in the factory for years, and they, just off in the corner. And all you had to do was polish it, and it was great.
Oh, I see. So it didn't take any.
No, it
work
didn't do
then.
any dark harm.
What
to
about
it.
over the years? What have you used it for?
Basically, the car has only been exhibited a couple times. exhibited twice at the auto show in New York. Not that I wanted to, but Aston Martin, when they changed ownership, each time they would call me and say, I know you don't want to exhibit the car, but you know, we have a new company that owns this, we need the help. And I said, oh, because he got me the car, you know, this Rex Woodgate and King of Prussia. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten the car. So every time he would request something, I would give it to him. And then the other time is in Meadowbrook, Michigan, for the Concours d'Elegance, which is one of the famous concourse in the world. It was in '92. But by and large, I didn't exhibit the car. The car sat in my James Bond room in my house. Everybody has a James Bond. I'm sure you have one too in your house. And it just, it's a work of art. To me, it's not a car, it's a work of art.
Did you ever drive it?
For 2 blocks in London, that was it. Never driven it since.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Is there any anecdote associated with the car that comes to your mind?
Yeah, there's one for 5 months in the winter around 1971. The Resorts International owned the Britannia Beach Hotel on Paradise Island. They persuaded me to exhibit the car there. They exhibited a glass dome, a plexiglass dome over the car. And it sat in front of the Cafe Martinique, which is across the street from Britannia Beach Hotel. And Howard Hughes had the top floor, had half of the top floor of the Britannia Beach Hotel. And part of the deal, they gave me the other half of the top floor. So I could come in with my entourage, we'd go up the elevator, his guards would go this way, my people would go this way, and Howard Hughes could actually look out of his window and see my car. I've never met him, but for all the years, I was a big fan of Howard Hughes. And so this was a thrill to me, that Howard could actually look out his window and see my car.
Okay, so how come you're selling it now? Why now?
I'm
Why
selling,
sell
I'll
it?
tell you why I'm selling it now, and it's, again, my luck. I had never ever thought about selling the car. But Don Rose from RN Productions, or Auctions, is the vice chairman of the Aston Martin Owners Club. And he has been for years wanting to come down and take pictures of the car. He had no way of getting to me. And then through a friend of a friend of a friend, he made a connection with somebody in the radio industry. They got to me and said, would you mind showing this guy your car? And I said, no problem. Right before he comes down, he calls me and says, I don't want to misrepresent myself. He said, my day job is working for RM Auctions, but I'm just coming down to see the car and take photos. He's down there for an hour and a half taking photos. Keep in mind, I had the car insured for $2 million. And I walked over to him and I said, Don, what do you think this car is worth? And when he told me it was well in excess of $5 million, I said, let me think about that. 2 weeks later, I called him back. If you cut me a deal on the commission, I'll sell the car and give the money to my foundation. So that's how it all came about. But that's the type of luck I have. I stand in the right place at the right time all my life. And with my luck, we're going to get the record tonight or tomorrow night.
What
With
does
my
your
luck.
foundation do?
We're crime, education, and social welfare. The main emphasis is on preventing crime. And I have a center, the Jerry Lee Center of Criminology, University of Pennsylvania. I have the Jerry Lee Center of Experimental Criminology at Cambridge here in the UK. And then I established the Stockholm Prize in Criminology that gives an award to the person who's done the most to advance the field of criminology. It's a $150,000 award. And it's given out in the same venue as the Nobel Prize. And usually a member of the royal family gives out the prize. And I was knighted by the King of Sweden in 2008 for that effort. And, but I'm also involved working with the White House in Washington, with the Office of Management and Budget in Washington. I have a program in Norway called the Campbell Collaboration. I have a program at the Australian National University. I'm involved around the world, and I'm a very passionate person. I'm passionate about James Bond, and I'm passionate about doing good for society.
So anything new, any James Bond memorabilia that you would like to buy that you haven't had?
No, I have 2 pinball machines that are James Bond, and I have a lot of the movies under glass and a few other little things. But no, once you own the car, there's nothing else. that compares. And it's been an incredible experience for 41 years owning this car. And that, I mean, there's going to be a little tears, I guess, when the car is actually auctioned out. But the amount I think I'm going to get for the car is going to put that in the background probably fairly rapidly.
Thank you very much for
You're
your
welcome.
time.
Pleasure meeting.
Whoops. Just to me, sir. Okay.
Sorry, my focusing was slightly out.
He's new at this.
Just
There's danger you could be there all day. It's just standing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
can we just open the point of anything here, maybe? Sorry, yeah.
Start back in.
Yeah, the other way. Yeah. Wait, sorry, can you come around this?
Yes, it's the laboratory in the middle. So we basically got all that to do with major.
It's okay. We like that.